Alright, hello everyone, welcome to another video on object-oriented programming with C++. In the last two videos, we did a few programming tasks. We wrote a few small codes that we executed, and we did that to learn two things specifically. One was this access specifier, more specifically protected access specifier, and the other was types of inheritance. So this were the contents of our last two videos. In this video and in the next video, we are going to discuss those things that we programmed and saw, and we are going to talk about those in this blackboard that you see on your, or whiteboard, whatever that you see on your screen. Alright, so in this video we are going to talk about encapsulation, and in the next video we will be looking at types of inheritance. Alright, so what is encapsulation? That would be the first question that we have to address. We already talked about this in the introductory classes. Encapsulation is a philosophy. It's not exactly a feature of C++, but there are features in C++ that enable us to do encapsulation. All right. So you see in this slide, nowhere is the word C++ mentioned. So this is a general feature of object-oriented programming. Okay, in object-oriented programming languages, encapsulation refers to a language construct that facilitates the bundling of data with the methods acting upon the data. So this, remember this image, what do we have? We have a capsule, and in this capsule we have variables and we have the methods that act on this variable, right? So the data will be there in some array or in some struct or in some normal variable, and there will be methods, function that will act on this data. So this data and the functions that act on this data, they should be bundled together into one unit, one block of code. All right, so that is one perspective of looking at encapsulation. Encapsulations is one of this thing. Okay, this is encapsulation. There is another meaning of encapsulation that we will soon talk about, but remember, this is the first meaning of encapsulation. What is encapsulation? The data and the code and the methods that work on this data, they are bundled together into one unit of code. All right, so you may have guessed by now that in C++, encapsulation can be very properly done using this thing called classes. So inside these classes, we may have all this data attribute, all these variables, and we may have all these methods, the functions that will work on these data attributes. So these methods and the data attributes, all of them are together placed inside a class. So in object-oriented programming, in C++ also, class is a very useful feature that enable us to do encapsulation. Alright, the first meaning of encapsulation, that is your point one. The other meaning of encapsulation is this. It is a language mechanism for restricting direct access to some of the object's component. Alright, so we have this object, we have this class, and inside this class there will be lots of variables. So what I want is I want my class to be used, right? So let us say I am making a class that operates a ATM machine. So I want my ATM machine to be used, right? But then what is happening behind the scene? Alright, whether there is some mechanical instrument that counts the money, gives it to the user, looks up the bank account to check what is the balance of the user. Right, so lots of checks will be done, and then some machine will be there which will output the means give the money through this slot that we have, right? So that is something that can happen, or it may also happen that I have written the class in such a way, I have created the ATM in such a way that there is a guy sitting inside the ATM. He calls up the bank, asks the bank how much money does this person have in his account. uh, if the person says trying to withdraw 3000 rupees and this person has more than 3000 rupees, then the guy is going to push this 3000 rupees through this slot. All right, and then this guy will again call up the bank and inform the bank that deduct 3,000 rupees from this customer's account. All right, so that may also happen. Nobody knows. I have never opened up a ATM machine and see what is inside. All right, so this is encapsulation. Whether there is a robotic computer-based system inside my ATM, or whether there is something entirely different inside my ATM, is something that I do not need to know. I do not know, and I should not have the ability to know that. All right, means I know there is some PC and robotic machine, but what is the PC? Okay, what is the software that is running on the PC? What are the data variables? What are the private key that enables the ATM to do encryption? All right, all these things are not something that I should be able to know. Okay, say uh, more than that. Okay, let me bring it up. Means I should not be able to know as a customer, that is fine, but there is one more perspective in which I should not know. Say this entire ATM software, okay, will have this banking software that will allow me to withdraw money from my uh, account. Okay, it will also have some, say, advertisement software that will keep showing videos. It will have some loan software, okay, that will show me what are the loan option available in that bank. So there are lots of different software that may be there inside this big software, this ATM software. All right, so there is one ATM software. Inside this we have these micro services kind of. All right, so each of these small software, all right, each of the small software can be a different class. Now think about it, the advertisement class, okay, that is supposed to show me advertisement, okay, should not have access to all this sensitive data that might be there in my banking class. So banking class will have all this encryption, bank details, and all this internal details that should not be uh, means given. This advertisement software should not be given permission to access those kind of data, right? So this is data hiding. All right, and this is one more definition of encapsulation. So encapsulation, first definition was what? There is a uh, body, there is a some capsule inside which this data and the methods that work on this data are together encapsulated into one unit. Right, first definition. And the second definition that we just talked about is this feature of data hiding. Okay, it is a language mechanism for restricting direct access to some of the objects component. All right, so we do not want to means make everything available for everyone to see. We want to hide some of these things. So this is one more mechanism, and this is also encapsulation. So you have seen two different, okay, these are two distinct viewpoints. Both of these are encapsulation. Okay, now when talking about encapsulation, I may, means people may uh, be talking about point number one. When saying that I am talking about encapsulation, I may be talking about point number two. Or when somebody is talking about encapsulation, that person may be talking about a combination of both point one and two. Okay, so encapsulation is either one or a combination of these two different distinct, these are two different, okay, entirely different ideas. All right, so this is encapsulation. Now in this video we are going to talk about point number two. Okay, so point number one is essentially having classes, and inside these classes all this data and the methods that work on this data will go together. All the data that makes sense together will stay together. All the data that do not make sense with this data should be somewhere else. All right, things that make sense together, birds of same feather will flock together. Birds that have different feather will be somewhere else. All right, now in point number two, we want to do data hiding. All right, and in C++ we have something called access specifier or access modifiers. Alright, so we have access specifier or access modifiers. These are features of C++. Encapsulation by itself is not a feature of C++, it's a philosophy. But then access specifier is a feature of C++ that enable us to do this. Point number 2 of encapsulation. Class is a feature of C++ that enable us to do point number 1 of encapsulation. Alright, so this is what we have. In this video we will talk about point number 2, or access specifier. So what is access specifier? Access specifier define how the members that are, there are two type of member of a class. Those are attributes, data attributes, and methods, the functions. So access specifier define how the members of a class can be accessed. Alright. Now here is one thing. What do I mean by access? Okay, there are two things. I may want to read the value of this data, okay, or of this return value of this method. So it may so happen that in case of attribute, okay, I may want to say int x equal to my obj dot some attribute of that obj. Alright, so I am now reading the data attribute. Okay, once again I can do cout and then print out obj dot attribute. Okay, this is, I am once again reading the value of the attribute. Okay, on the other hand I can do something like this. I can do obj dot attribute equal to say x plus y. Okay, now I am writing, I am setting the value of the attribute. Alright, in the same way I can do cin and I can save that into obj dot attribute. Okay, here also I am updating, I am writing the value of the attribute. Alright, so this is what I mean by access. Okay, so I may read the value of an attribute, I can write the value of an attribute. Now whether I have the permission to do this to access all this thing, that is a question that we will soon be answering. But then yeah, what do I mean by access? If I have the permission to access, that means I will be able to read the value and I will be able to write the value of the attribute. Alright, if I have the access to an attribute, I will be able to read and I will be able to write the value of the attribute. Alright, this does not happen, that I can read and I cannot write. Alright, so for that there are other things, there are const, there are final, alright, those kind of keywords. We are not talking about those. Alright, here everything is normal, there is nothing constant, there is no final data attribute. Alright, everything is a normal attribute. So if we can read, we can write. So think about keep that perspective in mind, that when I say access, it means I can read and write the value of the attribute. Okay, and once again when I want to access a method, there are two things. I will be able to call the method. Okay, in case of I am trying to access the method, there are two things. Number one, I should be able to call the method, and when calling the method, if there are parameters that the method need, I will be able to pass parameters to that method. And after that, once the method is called, when the method finishes execution, I will be able to read the return value of the method. Alright, so in case of method, when I say I am able to access the method, if I am able to access the method, I will be able to do these two things. Alright, so this is what is meant by access. Now access specifier enable us to control this access, enable us to hide data, enable us to so we can be very specific. Alright, about which of this data can be read by code outside the classes, which can be read by code that inherits from the class, and which cannot be read by anyone. Alright, so to do that, we have access specifiers. We already talked a bit about access specifier in previous classes. Two of these should be very well known to you. One of the access specifier is private, the other is public. Alright, and there is a third access specifier called protected. All right, let's go ahead and review a little bit about what are this private and public specifier. Say I have a class like this. In this class, it is called animal. There is a private uh, data attribute called age. There is a public data attribute called length. So I have this. This is my entire class. Here is my question. Uh, there are three functions, right? Shown over here. One is this int main, which is the main function that is called when we run any C++ program or C program. There is another function called cell. Okay, that may use this function. So this class, what may happen? Maybe I can create an object of the class inside, say animal A. Okay, in the main also I can call an animal A. I am creating an object inside main. Okay, it may so happen that I have a global variable. Okay, animal global animal. This is a object that is declared globally. Okay, so as a global variable, so I may access this global variable inside this functions, right? So I may access global variables inside the function. I may create variables, means this object inside my function. Maybe these objects are declared as global variable and I'm using them inside my function. So lots of things may happen, and also this may happen. Okay, uh, I may pass a object as a parameter to the function as well. Okay, so a function can use an object. Alright, lots of different ways. Maybe gets it through as a parameter. Maybe declares it inside the function, or maybe it is there in the global variable space, and then we use that inside the function. So different ways to access and work with an object inside a function. Now say there is this object, okay, there is this animal A that is there in one of these functions. So this three are same type of function. None of these are inside this class. Okay, these three function main, cook and cell. None of these function are inside this animal class, and none of these function are friend of the animal class. All right. So these are for all practical purposes. These are all same type of function. Okay. Let's just talk about this main function, and whatever we talk about this main function will apply to the other type of function as well. Alright, so I have this object called animal A. Okay, object called A of type animal, and what can I do? I can say set A dot age equal to 20. Is this possible? I can say A dot length equal to 30. Is this possible? These are my question. Alright. And whatever we discuss in main applies to both cell and cook. Alright. So this should be very well known to you by this point that this is not possible. Alright. Why is this not possible? We cannot directly access age attribute of this object A because age is declared as private. Alright, so this line we cannot write a dot age equal to 20. We cannot say, write the value of age. We cannot read. So let us try to read a dot age. This is not possible. This is not possible. We cannot read the value of age. We cannot update. We cannot write the value of age. This data attribute age, we do not have access to this variable, to this attribute outside my class. Alright, so this main function is definitely outside the animal class. It is not a friend of the animal class, so I cannot access this private data attribute inside this main function. Alright, this line is not allowed. Line number 3, this line, this is not allowed. This line on the other hand is completely fine. Length is a public data attribute, and main is a function that is outside the class, somewhere else. Outside public I can use anywhere. All right. Outside the class I can read the value of public attribute, I can update the value of public attribute. There is no restriction, I can do anything that I want. All right. So line number this 2 or 3 whatever, a dot length equal to 30 is completely fine. A dot age equal to 20 is not permitted. We do not have access to age. It is a private data attribute. We have access to length. It is a public data attribute. Fine. You know this already. We are just doing a review. If you do not know, if you did not understand what we are talking about, okay, or you have confusion regarding any of these topics, then you should go back and rewatch the previous videos. All right, more specifically the review of C++, there are 3 videos that we did in the very beginning. There are programming videos that we did in the introductory classes. So go through those videos. We discussed these things in details. All right. Now let us talk about this thing. Like before, I have this length, age. Now there is one thing that I did. Okay. Previously, my class, the first attribute was age. Okay, which was private, and the second attribute was length, which was public. All right. I just swapped these two over here. Okay. The first attribute is length, which is public. The second attribute is age, which is private. Then I have all these different things which are public. These methods which are public. Okay. So this is just to demonstrate that you need not always start with public at the top of the class. Alright, you can start, you do not always need to start with this private data attribute at the top of your class. You can start with public, you can start with anything protected, then you can write private, then you can write public again, private again. You can keep on doing whatever you want. Just make sure that before the private, the block of code that you want to be private, before that you have a private, the block of code that you want to be protected, you have a protected, and the block of code that you want to be public, you have this keyword public before that. All right. Now one final thing that you should also know by now, that by default in a class everything is private. Okay, so even if I did not write this keyword private specifically, okay, even if I did not write it, this program will not change anything. The meaning of the program will stay as it is. Age will still be private because by default everything is private. So when I come down, age is the first data attribute that I see. I know I did not write any access specifier, so this is by default private, so age is going to be private. Okay, then I see that there is a access specifier public. So after age I see length, and before length I had written this access specifier public, so length is going to be public. Fine. So yeah, this is what it is. By default everything is private, but then all these are fine. Point number 2 that I am trying to make here is that you need not always start with private data attribute. You can write all this private data attribute later on. You can write public before, private after, or private before, public after. This does not make any difference. Okay, so like before, I have two data attributes in this class, this public length and the private age. All right, and I have 4 different methods in this class. So these 4 methods are setLength, which takes an integer parameter and returns nothing, getLength, which returns an int, setAge, which takes a parameter, returns nothing, and getAge, which returns an int. And the implementation of these 4 different functions are shown over here. All right, so the first function is setLength, that takes this integer y and sets length equal to y. All right, then there is this getLength that returns the length. Is this permitted? This is definitely permitted. Length is public. Okay, so inside this function I can access length. That is not a problem. This is most definitely and very obviously these are permitted. Length is public. I can set the value of length. I am setting here, and I can get the value of length. I am getting here. Alright, so length is public and this is not a problem. Here is the question: is this allowed? Set age and get age. So where I am setting the set age takes a parameter y and sets age equal to y, and get age returns the parameter the value of age. Okay, so I am setting the value of age in here and I am getting the value of age in here. Alright, so these are two things. Set means to write, to update, get means to read. Alright, so are these two allowed? That is my question. Okay, so why is that a question? Why is there confusion with this? Because age is private. Okay, will I be able to access age in this two function? I know I am not able to access age. We just saw that in last slide. I am not able to access age, a dot age over here. Okay, in main function, I am not allowed to do that. So my question is, am I allowed to do this in this function? Okay. So the answer is yes, I am allowed. These are also fine. Why am I allowed? Because these are methods, these two methods are methods that belong to the class. Alright. And methods that belong to the class can access everything of that class. Okay. All this private, public does not matter. Methods, these two methods can access private data attribute. Okay, methods belonging to the class can access the private attribute, the public attribute, the protected attribute, everything. Alright, but outside the class, that is the question. Okay, see here outside the class, this main function is outside the class, this self function, cook function are outside the class. Here we are not allowed to have access to this private data attribute. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, final. uh, Once again I have the same class, the class with private age and public length. Okay, and then I have this another class mammal that inherits from this class. Okay, and one thing that we have been talking about, we did not talk about but we have been using up to this point, is this keyword public. Okay, in inheritance. This is used to control this access. Okay, during inheritance we will soon talk about this. Let us talk about the rest of the thing first and then we will come to this. But at this point just ignore this and imagine that whatever we have, the rest of the discussion that we are going to do in this slide, it does not matter what is here. Okay, instead of public you can write private, you can write protected, but whatever we are going to discuss is not going to change. Okay, this actually influences uh, further inheritance. So if I this class mammal inherits from animal, okay, and said here is this class called cat that inherits from mammal, this keyword will influence the relation between this animal and the cat class. So here right now it does not matter. So ignore this thing at this moment. What is the main focus of this slide? The reason I have this slide is this. I have a private data attribute age, I have a public data attribute length, and this is a class mammal that inherits from this class animal. Alright. Now in this class I have two methods. One is print length and the other is print age. In print length I am going to print the length, and in age I am going to print the age. Question is, are these two allowed? Can I do this? Okay. So print length, this is allowed. Okay. Length I can access. I can access length because length is public, but this is not allowed. Okay, that means age I am not able to access. Why? Because age is private. So even in inheritance, age I cannot, this private data attribute in the derived class, in the child class, I cannot access the private attribute of the base class or the parent class. Okay, so the only place where I can access the private data attribute are the class itself, nowhere else. Alright, and the friend function, of course. Friend function is there, but we are not talking about friend function in this lecture. We talked about friend function before. So yeah, these are the only places, and friend class is something that we will talk about. But then in this option that I showed you, in inheritance, in code outside the class, and in code inside the class, out of these three, only code inside the class is where we can access the private data attribute. Alright. Next is this protected data attribute, access specifier. Alright, so up to this point, everything should be known to you. We have experimented a lot, we have written lots of different code, and lots of things we have done. We have discussed this thing in theory, right? So everything good up to this point. Now I have just done a small amount of modification in this class. Like before, I have a private age, I have public length, but now I have protected weight. Okay, one more data attribute. So once again, the thing that we are going to discuss, let us skip that in this main function. Whatever we talk about in main function are going to apply in these other functions as well. If there are other function, what are these function? These are function that are outside the class, and these are not friend of the class. So these are entirely separated from uh, the class. Okay, these are entirely separated from the class, in the sense that these are not friend, these are not inside the class. Okay? So this is what we have. Is there some marriage? There is probably marriage, or is it a puja today? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there is some puja today. Probably some marriage is going on. So that is your background music for you. All right. So in this main, let us say I have created an animal object. This is completely allowed. All right. So a dot age I am trying to set equal to 10. Age is private. So I know this is not allowed. All right. Length, let me try to set a dot length is equal to 20. This is allowed. Okay, this is public, and I can set length equal to 20. Age is private, I cannot set age equal to 10. This is not allowed. This is allowed. What about this? A dot weight equal to 30, say. This is not allowed. Alright. So this is also not allowed. Now you may be having this question. Uh, if protected is not allowed access to in main, if private is not allowed access to in main, okay, then what is the use of having these two different things? Why not simply have private? Why have protected? It looks the same right now. It looks the same in main function. I cannot access age, which is private. I cannot access weight, which is protected. So from perspective of main, I can neither access age, I can neither access weight. Okay, I can neither access this private, I can neither access this protected. So from the perspective of main, both of these looks similar, right? But I can access this weight. Now there must be some reason why protected exists, all right? Although from the perspective of main, they look similar. So something must be dissimilar. Now one thing, although I cannot access this age, okay, or say this weight directly. What I can do is I can create public methods, right? Say void set age, okay, int x. And what am I doing? I am setting age equal to x, okay, and say void set weight int. Let me give x again, and I'm doing set weight equal to x. Then say int get age, and this will return age. and finally int get length, get weight, and this will return weight. Okay, so I have these 4 different methods inside my class. Okay, and then I have to close this bracket and give a semicolon, right, to end the class. So now I have these 4 different public methods inside this class, and I can do this, right? You know this very well. I cannot write a dot age equal to 10, okay, because age is private and I cannot access this age directly since it's private. But set age is public, right? So set age is public. So a dot set age with 10, this I can call, right? Because set age is public, I can call set age. All right. And then what will happen in set age? In set age, I am passing this parameter 10. This parameter will be set to age. So before I was trying to directly set age equal to 10, that is not allowed. But because this method exists, this set as method exists, I can indirectly set the value of this private parameter, private data attribute, right, through this public interface. Similarly, this protected I am unable to access directly in main. So in main I cannot do a dot weight equal to 30, but then I can call a dot set weight equal to 30, and that will essentially do the same thing. Okay, that will set weight equal to 30. So weight is protected, I cannot access that directly in main, but through these public interfaces I can call these public interfaces, and these public interfaces will do what? They will internally inside, they will set this private attributes. Okay, so you may have this question, then what is the use of this? Why when allow this private interfaces? That is because you can have logic inside this private interface. Say you want to set age, uh, and this is an animal, say for a human, okay, and someone is calling set age 500, okay, and we know humans don't live for 500 years, normal human. So I can have this condition: if age is equal to age is greater than 150, okay, then return error or throw an error. Okay, uh, so all this logical condition checking, security can be enhanced using this. Instead of allowing this person to directly set a dot age equal to 500, that would not allow us to do have any such logical condition, right, and the condition checking. So if I have these interfaces, I can have this extra security. Alright, so that is one reason why we would have such kind of interfaces to access this private data attribute, and not allow direct access to these attributes. Alright, so once again let us talk about what we were talking about before. I have 3 attributes in here. Say I am creating an object animal a dot age equal to 10, a dot weight equal to 20, a dot length equal to 30. So this is definitely allowed. This is length is public, so I can access length. A dot length equal to, I can update it to 30, not a problem. I can set it to 30, not a problem. But these two I cannot access. This is not allowed. This is not allowed. All right. Age is private. I cannot access age in this main function. All right. Main function is a function that is outside my animal class and is not a friend of the animal class. Then there is this weight attribute. I cannot update weight attribute in this main function. Alright, weight is protected, so I cannot access private, I cannot access protected, I can access public. Public is public property. Alright, so this is what I have from the perspective of main. Now let's go ahead and look at this. What is happening over here? This animal class stays the same. Okay, I did not make any modification in this class. Now I have this other class mammal which inherits from this class animal. Alright, and in this mammal class I have three methods. One is print length, print age, and print weight. In print length I am trying to access length. Am I allowed to access length? Yes, I am allowed to access this length attribute that I inherited from this animal. Okay, I did not create this length, age, or weight anywhere in my class, in my mammal class. Okay, this I am inheriting through this inheritance from this animal class. Alright, so am I allowed access to length? Yes, I am allowed access to length because length is public. Alright, am I allowed access to age? No, I am not allowed access to age because age is private. Alright, now am I allowed access to weight? In my main function I was not allowed access to weight because weight is protected, but here this is allowed, this is not allowed, this is public, length is public, so I have right to access length, that is allowed. Age is private, I do not have right to access age, that is not allowed. What about print weight? In main I was not able to access weight which was protected. Here I can access weight. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay, so this is where protected differs from private. Both protected and private cannot be accessed by function outside of this class inheritance, right? So main has no inheritance relation with animal, but mammal has this inheritance relation from animal. Mammal inherits from animal. All right. So in mammal that inherits from animal, okay, I have access to public, fine. Public I can always have access to. I never have access to private, fine. Here also I do not have access to this private data attribute, but protected. If there is an inheritance, direct inheritance relation, okay, I'm inheriting in this mammal class, I'm inheriting from this animal class, so there is this direct inheritance relation, I can access this protected. Okay, in my main function, which is outside, okay, and there is no inheritance relation between main function and this animal class. Alright, I cannot access this protected, but in my mammal class, I can access this protected. Okay, like length. So this is the difference between private and protected, and there is nothing more than you need to know about protected. All right, so this is what it is. If and once again we are talking about single inheritance only. Okay, say animal, mammal inherits from animal, there is a cat class which inherits from mammal. What is going to happen we will discuss a bit later, but right now uh, mammal inherits from animal, we have single level of inheritance, and this is what is happening. Okay, I cannot in this inherited class, in this child class, derived class, I can access the public attribute, I can access the protected attribute, I cannot access the private attribute, all right, of the base class or parent class. This is what protected means. So in summary, there are three access specifier. The public access specifier members are accessible from outside the class. All these public members are accessible, be it public method, be it public data attribute. In this example, I had shown you data attribute, okay. But then this is applicable in case of methods also. All right. Then these public members are accessible from outside the class. Private members are not accessible from outside the class, cannot be accessed from outside the class. Protected is a combination of two. Members cannot be accessed outside the class like private, however they can be accessed in inherited classes like private, public. Okay, so it comes between private and public. Like private, it cannot be accessed outside the class except if that place which is outside the class is a class that inherits from the class, base class. All right, so this is what I have. Okay, these are the three access specifier. Now let us talk about this thing. And before we talk about this thing, what is the idea behind all this thing? Let us talk about this. I have this animal class. Okay, animal class has age, it has weight, and it has length. Three data attribute. Okay, age, weight, and length. Now, age is public. Sorry, age is private, weight is protected, and length is public. Okay, now what am I doing? I am inheriting from this animal. Alright, and I am creating a new class. This is mammal. Alright, and in mammal I have some other data attribute, some other method. Let us ignore those. Because I am inheriting from animal, these things are also going to be there in mammal. So age is going to be there in mammal, weight is going to be there in mammal, length is going to be there in mammal. Okay, now here is my question. What is the excess level of this age, weight, and length? Okay, and that is going to matter a lot. Okay, later on we will talk about this. Say after inheriting, okay, age was private, now say it becomes public. Hypothetically, this is not going to happen. Say after inheriting age becomes public, then what will happen? If I write animal a and I set a dot age equal to 20, this will not be allowed. Okay, because age is private. If my animal uh, is if my object A is of type animal, then age is private. But if after inheriting my age becomes public, okay, hypothetically speaking, age is now public, then what will happen? If instead of animal, if I write mammal A, so A is now an object of type mammal, I will be able to set this age equal to 20, right? Because age is now public. Okay. So this is my question. What is the excess of age, weight, and length, which were private, protected, and public respectively in the animal class? Okay, in the parent class. Now in this derived mammal class, what is the excess specifier associated with each of these variable? Okay, what is age? Is age still private? Okay, is weight still protected? Is length still public? Okay, if say this happens, if I am sorry, if I am inheriting, okay, here previously I had age as private, weight as protected, and length as public. Say I am doing this inheritance, and after inheritance all of this become private. Okay, so say this is what happens. All right, now what will happen is this. Say I had an animal object. Okay, animal dot length is equal to 30. This would be allowed because in this animal object, in this animal class, okay, length is public. Okay, but then if I change this animal to mammal, okay, and in my mammal object, length is private. Okay, if this happens, then this line which was allowed before will no longer be allowed, right? So I hope you understand what is the problem that I am trying to make you understand. All right. What is the problem that there exists? There is this class animal. Animal has three attributes of different access specifier. One is public, one is private, one is protected, and then there is this other class called Mammal. Mammal inherits these three attributes, right? So automatically from animal, Mammal is going to get these things. Now, once Mammal gets this thing, these attributes, once they come inside Mammal, all right, what is going to be their access specifier? Okay, what is the access specifier with which they were inherited? So, does the private stay private? Does the protected stay protected? Does the public stay public in this derived class? And based on that, I am going to have issues like this. For example, if instead of Mammal, I wrote animal, okay, then I would be able to set a dot length equal to 30. But if say I did inheritance in my Mammal and in my Mammal class, length now becomes private, then I will not be allowed to do this. Okay, so what is going to happen? That is the question. And this you can control. Okay, this is not something that will happen randomly. Is public going to stay public? Is private going to stay private? What is going to happen? Is protected going to stay protected? What is the conversion that is going to become? That you can control. Alright, and this control can be done through this inheritance access control, this thing. Alright, so based on whether we are writing public or protected or private, things are going to change. So let's discuss that. Okay, let's go back to blue. Green does not look that good. Alright, so now I have animal class, same like before. I have this mammal class which inherits from animal class using this public inheritance, right? This is public inheritance. So what is going to happen if I do public inheritance? Okay, age, weight and length. Okay, I have, this is my animal class and this is my mammal class. Mammal is going to inherit age, mammal is going to inherit weight, and mammal is going to inherit length. Alright, so all of these things are going to happen. Here this is public, this is protected, and this is, sorry, age is private, weight is protected, and length is public. Alright, so after we do this inheritance from animal to mammal, okay, age is going to become, age is not accessible in mammal, right? We cannot access age in mammal. This is not accessible. Okay, remember this. Age in mammal, I cannot even touch this age directly. Okay, so it is not accessible. There is no question of it being private. Say if age were private in mammal, okay, inside my mammal class, I could have a function like void set age, okay, and I can access age inside this function. But I know that this age, which is private in animal, I cannot access inside my mammal class. Alright, so age is not private inside the mammal class. Don't make that mistake. Age is not accessible. Alright, so in my class, if age were accessible, if age were private in my mammal class, then inside this method that were there inside my mammal class would be able to access this age. Okay, because private data attributes can be accessed only inside that class. Okay, I hope you understood that. Okay, but age is not accessible inside the class, right? We saw that, we talked about this. If there are private data attributes, there is some private attribute, I can write method in that class. Inside that class, whatever methods are there will be able to access that private data attribute. All right, but we already saw this. This age attribute in my MAML class. All right, I cannot access it in my MAML class. I can access it in my animal class. In my animal class, age is private, so I can write method in my animal class that can update the value of that can set the value of age, get the value of age, do logical things with age. All right, we can do all these kind of things, but in mammal I cannot access it. All right, so in animal I can access age because age is right. It will go on battery. Done. Yeah, that is what I was saying. In animal class, I can access age because age is private, and we can access the private, public, protected, all kind of uh, attributes in of our own class, right? Therefore, I can access age in animal class, but in mammal, I cannot access age. All right, because age was public private in animal. All right, so you cannot say that age is private in mammal. Okay, had age been private in mammal, then the methods of my mammal class will be able to access age. I hope that makes sense. All right, but I cannot access age, so age is not accessible at all. It is not private. What about weight? If I write public inheritance, then weight is going. This weight was protected before. It is going to stay protected. Land was public before. It is going to stay public. All right. This is what it is. Now, my question. Instead of not accessible, let me just write NA. NA usually means not available, but here we mean not accessible. Okay? Don't make that confusion. Okay, fine. Right now I have this mammal class. Okay, in my mammal class, these are my updated access specifier. Age not private. Don't make that mistake. Age is entirely not accessible at all. Okay, weight is protected. Length is public like before. Okay, now hold on. In my cat class, okay, I am now inheriting from mammal class. Okay, in my cat class I am inheriting from mammal class. So what are the things that I can access in my cat class, and what are the things that I can access in main? Okay, say I have created an object of type animal a in my main function. Okay, let's segregate this left side and right side. Here I have this main function. So can I do a dot age equal to, in my main function I have this animal object a, this object a of type animal. So can I write a dot age equal to 10? No, I cannot, right? Because age is private. I cannot access private. Can I do a dot weight? Okay, let me do one thing. Keep everything here. A dot age equal to say 10. A dot weight equal to 20, and a dot length equal to 30. Alright, so this is what I have. Can I set this a dot age equal to 10? I cannot. Age is private. I cannot access it here. Can I set a dot length equal to 20? I can. Alright, this is allowed. Sorry, this is not allowed. Sorry, not in main. Can I set a dot length equal to 30? Length is public. This is allowed. Okay, so protected I am not allowed. Age I am not allowed. Okay, these two are not allowed. This is allowed. Alright, in main. Now instead of animal, if I wrote mammal, what is going to happen? Nothing is going to change. A dot age, I cannot say. In MAML, age is not even accessible. Okay, it is not even a private member. It is even more strict than private member. Okay, so age I cannot access. Fine. What about weight? Weight is protected, so I cannot access. No change at all. What about length? Length is now public. Okay, like before. So this is going to also stay the same. So in my instead of writing animal, when I wrote animal, I was not allowed access to this too. I was allowed access to this. So instead of writing animal, if I write mammal, that is not going to change. All right. Now in my cat, what are the things that I have access to? Uh, can I set age equal to 10, weight equal to 20, and length equal to 30? Now what is cat? Cat is a class that inherits from mammal. Okay, let us ignore this. We are talking about this. Okay, this keyword public influences what is going to be the further inheritance. This is not going to, this public in front of cat is not going to influence our discussion of cat. It is going to influence our discussion of whatever class derives from cat, say Persian cat. Okay, if Persian cat derives from cat, this keyword is going to influence Persian cat, not this class cat. Okay, and it is going to influence what is accessible here and not accessible here. So that we are discussing with this mammal, and this main function. Okay, let me remove the clutter. Okay, so let's see age. So this cat class inherits from mammal class. All right. So age, am I able to should I be able to access? No. In mammal class, age is not accessible, right? So this is not allowed. What about weight? Weight is protected. So this should be allowed. All right. What about length? Length is public. Okay. So this is allowed. Okay. In main, this is not allowed. This is not allowed. This is allowed. Okay, fine. This is what happens when we have public inheritance. In public inheritance, private becomes not accessible. This age was private. This is not accessible at all in mammal. Okay, protected and public, they stay the same. Protected stays protected, public stays public. All right. So this is public inheritance. Let us next talk about protected inheritance. Okay, what is going to happen with protected inheritance? Like before, I have this animal class. Animal class has age, weight, and length, and I have this mammal class. Mammal class is going to inherit age, is going to inherit weight, is going to inherit length, and now my inheritance is protected. Okay, is of type protected. So instead of writing public over here, now I'm writing protected. So what is the change that is going to happen? Age was private, weight was protected, and length was public. All right. So if I do protected inheritance, what is going to happen? Private is going to stay not accessible. I cannot access private uh, this private attributes in my uh, derived class. Okay, private attribute of the base class in my derived class. What about weight? Weight was protected before, it will stay protected. What about length? Length was public before, this is going to change and become protected. Okay, So if I have protected inheritance in my base class, private the private attribute of the base class, sorry, is going to become uh, not accessible in my derived class. The protected data attribute of the base class are going to stay protected attribute in the derived class. Alright, and the public data attribute of the base class are going to become protected. So that is one change that is going to happen. Alright, so length was public before, now it is going to stay protected. So what is the ramification? What is the ramification of this thing? Say I have this animal object A in my main, okay, and then I said a dot age. Is this allowed? This is not allowed because age is private. What about a dot weight? Is this allowed? This is not allowed. Okay, age is weight is protected. What about a dot length equal to 30? This was allowed, right? When I had an object of type animal, okay, because length is public and I could access it. Now when I was doing this public inheritance here, then length was still allowed. Okay, in my inherited mammal class, length was public. Okay, that I can see length attribute in my mammal class is public. All right, therefore I can access length in my main function. Okay, since length in my mammal class is public, here I am seeing that this is my mammal class, this is my length attribute, and length attribute I can see is public. Okay, therefore I can access a dot length in my main. This is fine, but in protected inheritance, this is my mammal class and length attribute becomes protected, it's no more public. Okay, therefore a dot length, if instead of animal, okay, I am able to access a dot length if my object is animal, because in animal length is public, but in mammal, okay, in mammal what is going to happen? In mammal length is now protected. Okay, therefore I cannot access this anymore. All right, so this is what I have. I hope this makes sense. After doing this protected inheritance, this private is not accessible at all, whatever be the inherit type of inheritance. Okay, if parent class private is not going to be accessible in child class. Okay, no matter whether you do public, private, protected, private inheritance, whatever kind of inheritance you do, whatever is private in parent class is going to stay private, is not going to be accessible in child class. So forget private. This age is not accessible. Okay, what about weight? Weight is protected. Okay, it was protected before, it is going to stay protected. What about length? Length was public before, it is now protected. So the ramification of that is age, weight, like before I cannot access. Say I have this mammal object A. This age and weight I cannot of course access. Age is private, weight is protected. Before, when I had, instead of this protected inheritance, instead of writing protected here, when I had written public, okay, a class mammal, public inheritance animal, when I inherited using this public inheritance, I was able to access a dot length. Alright, right now when I write protected instead of public, when I am writing protected, that I can no longer access this. Okay, why? Because these public data attributes become protected. So what happens in protected inheritance? Private is not accessible, protected stays protected, and public becomes protected. Okay, so this is what I have. This is my mammal class. Okay, now what are the things that I can access in my cat class? Can I write age equal to 10, weight equal to 20, length equal to 30. Okay, now cat class I am inheriting from mammal class, right? In mammal class age is not accessible, so this is not accessible. In mammal class it is not accessible. How can I access it in cat class? In my parent class it is not accessible. How can I access it in my child class, right? So that is what I have. Then weight is protected. Let me write PRO. This is PRI. Okay. Sorry for the confusion. I wrote PR in both the places. So weight is protected. So in my inherited classes, so cat inherits from mammal. In mammal, weight is what? Weight is protected. So I can access this. This is fine. Okay. What about length? Length was public in animal, but after this protected inheritance, it becomes protected in mammal. I am inheriting from mammal in my cat class. So protected I can access, right? So protected cannot be accessed over here. Okay, in main function, in any other function, in outside my class inheritance, but in classes that inherits from animal, I can access this length, right? This is what I have. Okay, so protected I can access. This two becomes protected. This was protected from before. This was length was public before. Now in mammal it become protected. Then yeah, this is what I have. I can access it. Fine. Okay, I want you to do one thing. Okay, not right now. See, this is not accessible at all, right? This is protected over here. This is protected over here because this is public. Okay, what is going to happen if I write protected over here? Okay, and I use another class, say Persian cat that inherits from cat. What is the influence? How is this influence going to ripple down the line? So I started with these three data attributes, age, weight and length, which were in animal. I did this inheritance once in mammal. Okay, and we are discussing how this keyword protected, how this inheritance private, we already discussed public, we are discussing protected. We have discussed how this type of inheritance, public inheritance or protected inheritance, what is the influence of this on the access specifier of this data attribute age, weight and length. All right, and then after doing that we are discussing this cat class and what is accessible in cat class, what is not accessible in cat class, and what is the effect of this protected or public inheritance. All right, in the access of this data attribute in cat class. All right, I want you to think about this thing. Okay, discuss with your friends, look up resources on the internet. I cannot explain everything. Okay, you have to do a bit of self study as well. And this is not only because we are doing it online. Okay, even if we were teaching offline, still I would expect you to do lots of self study. Okay, maybe even more than now. Uh, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to create a class called Persian cat that inherits from cat, and then this thing I want you to change from public to protected to uh, private. Okay, so how many are going to be their combination? Here I have 3. Okay, here I have 3. So 3 into 3 are going to be 9 combination, and then you are going to have a class. Let me erase all this clutter. So you have another class. Okay, Persian cat that inherits publicly. Let this be public from cat. Okay, what are the things? Age, weight, and length. Under what situation will you be able to access it? Under what situation you will not be able to access it? So there are going to be 9 different situations. Okay, for each of the 3 public, protected and private over here, you will have public, private and protected over here. Alright, so 3 into 3, there are going to be 9 different situation. So in all of these 9 different situation, let this stay the same. If you change this, then you are going to end up with 27 different situations. So let this only be private, only be public. Okay, and then answer what are the, in all these 9 different situation, what are the influence, what are the access, will you be able to access age, will you be able to access weight, will you be able to access length, in all these 9 situations. Let me tell you one of the answers. Age you will not be able to access anywhere. Okay, so you are not able to access age in mammal. Alright, so there is no question of being able to access age in cat. Since you are not able to access age in cat, there is no question at all about accessing age in Persian cat. So whatever be the situation, in all these 9 situation, you will not be able to access age in Persian cat. But these two, what is going to happen to these two? What is the access of these two? Is this going to be private? Is this going to be public? Is this going to be protected? So that is my question. Okay, find out. Alright, the final type of inheritance is private inheritance. We have already talked about public, we have talked about private. So once again, I have 2 classes, animal class. Okay, in my animal class, I have data attribute private, which is age. I have data attribute protected, which is weight, and I have data attribute public, which is length. Then I inherit from this class into my new class, which is mammal. Okay, and this is a private type of inheritance. Alright, so this is private inheritance. I did this inheritance. So I am going to get this age, I am going to get this weight, and I am going to get this length. This access, this of course is not accessible. Age, let us not discuss this. Uh, Age is private in animal, so I cannot access it in mammal. Whatever be the kind of inheritance that we do, age is not accessible. What about weight? Weight was protected in animal. What about in mammal? Okay, weight is going to become private in mammal. Length is also was public. This is going to become private in mammal. Okay, because of this private type of inheritance, protected and public are going to become private. Private is going to not be accessible. So what does this mean? How does this differ? What is the difference between not accessible and private? Okay, it means this. In my mammal class, okay, so we will talk about what is the difference. Just going to give a hint. I can, the methods of mammal class can access weights and length, all right, but cannot access age. We will talk about this. Let us talk about this first. Uh, Say I have a mammal object M, M dot age I cannot access, no need to discuss this anymore. M dot weight, will I be able to access? This is private, I cannot access. M dot length, will I be able to access? Uh, M is the object of mammal class. In mammal class, I see that length is private, so I will not be able to access. Alright, so this is what I have. Like protected, all these three we were not able to access. In the same way, I am not able to access. Alright, because weight and length are now private, and I cannot access private data attribute outside my class. Alright, but then age is of course not accessible at all, it is not even private. Okay, so let this be. What about in cat? This cat class inherits from mammal class. So will I be able to set age equal to 10? No. Okay. Reason we have already discussed before. We were never able to set age anywhere. Okay, that's not accessible. Okay. It's not accessible in mammal, it's not accessible in cat. We already discussed this. What about weight? Can I do this? What about length? Can I do this? So in this example, I was able to do this. This two, I was able to do. Okay, both of these were protected, and cat inherits from mammal. Okay, so protected data attributes can be accessed in child class. All right. So these are fine. So here is my question: can I access weight and length now? Now that unlike before, which was before I had protected inheritance, now I am looking at private inheritance. So now can I access this weight and length? That is the question. Uh, when I had protected inheritance, I was able to do this. Now after private inheritance, this we just discussed this animal in my animal class I had this private age which is not accessible at all in my mammal class. I have this weight which was protected, this becomes private in my mammal class. I have this length which was public in animal class, this becomes private in mammal class. So weight and length are private in my mammal class. Okay, can I access them in my cat class? So cat class inherits from mammal class. Can I access them in cat class? Alright. So think about it. Age was private in animal class. I cannot access it in mammal class, right? In the same way, weight and length are private in mammal class. I will not be allowed to have access to them in my cat class. Alright. Then where is the place where I can access weight and length? I can access weight and length if I do private inheritance. I can access weight and length only in my mammal class. Think about it. Weight and length, which were previously protected and public respectively, now becomes private, both of them. Okay, these are private data attributes of mammal class. In my methods of mammal class, I can access the private data attributes of mammal class, right? Like in animal class, I can write a method that can access age. In the same way, in mammal class, I can write a method that can access weight and length, because weight and length are now private in mammal class. Unlike animal is not accessible. Okay, therefore I cannot access animal at all in my mammal class, but I can access weight and length. These are private attributes of the mammal class that we inherit from animal class. Alright, in animal class they were protected and public, but after private inheritance they become private. Alright, so these are the only place where inside my mammal class I can access them, but if some class inherits from mammal class, they cannot access it anymore. Alright, because weight and length they become private in mammal class, and for the same reason that we cannot access age in mammal class, age which is a private attribute of animal, I cannot access it in mammal class. In the same way, a class that inherits from mammal class will not be able to access these private attributes, weight and length. Alright, so this is what I have. This is the third inheritance access control. Okay, this basically influences how your base class access specifier, how do they get changed in my derived class, in my child class. So in conclusion, we have three type of inheritance that we just saw in the last three slides. One is the public inheritance. Okay, in public inheritance, when inheriting a class from a public parent class, public members of the parent class becomes public member of the child class. So the things, public members, so be it data attribute, be it methods, okay, be it attribute or methods, they will stay public. Protected stays protected. Fine. The parent class private members cannot be accessible directly from a child class. Okay, so parent class private member cannot be accessed directly. But if there are interfaces, public or protected interfaces in the parent class that indirectly allows us to access those inaccessible methods, inaccessible data, we can use this to indirectly access the inaccessible attribute, right? So this is what we have. When inheriting a class from a public parent class, public members of the parent class become public members of the child class, and protected members of the parent class become protected members of the child class. The parent class private members cannot be accessed directly from a child class, but can be accessed through public and protected members of the parent class. Okay, so if say in animal there were a method called void set age. Okay, using this method in my mammal class, I can call this method set age 10. Okay, I can call this method because this method is public, right? And then that would set age indirectly. Okay, but I cannot have direct access to age. I do not have that. Already discussed this. Okay. Next is private inheritance. When we derive from a private parent class, then then the public and protected members of the parent class become private members of the child class. Alright. And in protected inheritance, the final type of inheritance, when deriving from a protected parent class, the public and protected member of the parent class become protected member of the child class. So in private, what is going to happen? Public and protected, both of them become private. In protected, public and protected, both of them become protected. All right. And in public inheritance, this private and protected, both of them stays the same. Okay. This diagram is a good representation. Public inheritance, public stays public, protected stays protected, private not accessible at all. Okay, protected, private and public, protected inheritance, private and public, both of them become protected. In private inheritance, private and public, both of them become private. Alright, so remember this. Very simple to remember. If you remember what happens to this access specifier, okay. So just I'm going to tell you one more time, and you are going to remember after listening to me. In public, nothing changes. In protected, okay, before anything else, private cannot be accessed in child class. Alright, then in public inheritance, nothing is going to change. In protected inheritance, the other two, protected and public, both of them are going to become protected. In public inheritance, protected and public, both of them are going to become private. Alright, that is what it is. This table says the same thing. Public, protected and private, these are the three type of attribute in base class. So if I do public inheritance, public stays public, protected stays protected, private is not accessible. In protected, public and protected, both of them become protected, private is not accessible. In private inheritance, public and protected, both of them become private, and private is of course not accessible. Alright, so this table and table above, both of them summarizes what we did in the last 3-4 slides. Alright, so this is inheritance access control, and this ends our discussion for today. Right, in today's video, we talked a little bit about this idea behind encapsulation, which we did before as well. Then we said that the second notion of access encapsulation, that is data hiding is enabled in C++ using this access specifier. There are three of them. One is public, then there is private, then there is protected. We recalled what are public and private access modifier. We saw them before, and then we looked at this new access modifier, protected. Right? We did not see this one before. So we talked about what is the difference between public, private, and protected with examples, uh, different examples, and then we did a review of this thing, access specifier. Right? Then we saw what is the inheritance access control. Okay, how does this work? This access specifier when doing this inheritance, what is the significance of this particular keyword? All right, so this is what we did. We looked at public inheritance. Okay, then we saw what is protected inheritance. All right, finally we saw what is private inheritance. Okay, and then we did a summary of inheritance access control. This ends our discussion for today. I hope you understood everything in this video. If not, you can of course reach out to me through WhatsApp, through mail, or by leaving your doubts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next video.